It's a very deep topic, and a lot of people don't know that. People don't know about Jesus freeing the saints from Sheol and taking them to heaven when he resurrected. People don't know about that stuff. People don't know that now, if you die, you go to be with Jesus. While as before that, your spirit went to Sheol. Everybody, good or evil, everybody went to the same spot, but that spot was divided into two sides. One side was for the righteous and one side was for the wicked. When Jesus died during that three-day period, he went to that place, freed all the righteous, and took them to heaven when he resurrected.
Anyway, I have a quick question. I don't want to take too long, but in 1 Samuel chapter 28, you know I'm referencing, Brother Josh. Was it actually Samuel?
Oh, Brother Josh, let me
Or
do it. Let me do it. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. Let me get this one, Brother
Down,
Josh.
down, Rover, down. Stay. Yeah, you got it, JiDion. He real eager because we just did a study on that. He go ahead, JiDion, you got
So,
it.
Malik, that was indeed Samuel. We can go there. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's 1 Samuel 28, if I'm not mistaken.
Start at verse like 15.
We're going to break this down, everybody. So, this also inadvertently kills soul sleep. So put a W in the chat if you guys heard of soul sleep. No? Okay, a couple people have. Okay. So soul sleep is, a lot of people believe that when you die, your soul doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go to hell. It doesn't go to heaven. You are just in limbo until Christ returns. Then he's going to decide where your soul goes, right? But this story, this right here actually debunks all that. So what people will say is that they'll say that Samuel here was a demon. So the moral of the story is God was done with Saul. Saul was sinning too much and everything. And he couldn't get counsel from God anymore. So he wanted to get counsel from one of God's prophets, which was Samuel. But Samuel was dead. So he went to a sidekick, right, y'all? So King Saul went to a sidekick as in disguise. We'll go through it real quick. This is the ERV, 1 Samuel 28:8. That night Saul put on different clothes so that no one would know who he was. Then Saul and two of his men went to see the woman. Saul said to her, I want you to bring up a ghost who could tell me what will happen in the future. So a lot of people, you know, we go to mediums. We like to know what happens in the future and stuff. I even been to a medium, you know. Like, y'all don't even want me to get to that story. I was going there to troll, but that stuff ended up actually being real, man. So do not go to these mediums, and you guys will see. So he went to a medium. He went to, which is witchcraft. That stuff is witchcraft. I want you to bring up a ghost who could tell me what will happen in the future. You must call for the ghost of the person I name. But the woman said to him, you know that Saul forced all the mediums and fortune tellers to leave the land of Israel. You were trying to trap me and kill me. So at this moment, the woman didn't know that Saul was Saul because he was in disguise. Saul used the Lord's name to make a promise to the woman. He said, as surely as the Lord lives, you won't be punished for doing this. So he was condemning this sin, and then now he's going back and doing this sin. The woman asked, who do you want me to bring up for you? Saul answered, bring up Samuel. And it happened, the woman saw Samuel and screamed. She said to Saul, you tricked me. You are Saul. So, because Samuel told her that Saul was bringing her up. The king said to the woman, don't be afraid. What do you see? The woman said, I see a spirit coming up out of the ground. Okay? So, this woman, a regular woman, a medium, brought up the spirit of Saul. Right, Malik? You see this. So we're going to see soon, is this a demon or is this actually Saul?
Yeah, I see.
Saul asked, what does he look like? The woman answered, he looks like an old man wearing a special robe. Then Saul knew it was Samuel, and he bowed down his face and touched the ground. So by the description that she gave, he knew that this was Samuel. So he already got ready, was bowing down in reverence to Samuel. This is what Samuel said. Samuel said to Saul, why did you bother me? Why did you bring me up? We're going to read this in the KJV. And Samuel said to Saul, why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? So Saul was resting Samuel was resting, and Saul brought him up. You can conjure up spirits. That's the moral of this. And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and God is departed from me, and answereth me no more, neither by prophets nor by...
He'll be back.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. So
Sorry
basically,
about that,
Samuel
y'all.
was sleeping, right? He was
He
resting.
wasn't sleeping. He was in Sheol.
He was dead. He was dead, but he brought up his spirit. You see that?
Look.
She
Yeah.
didn't realize she brought up his spirit.
Here, look at verse 13. And the
Mhm.
woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. And he went unto her, what form is he of? And she said, an old man. So he was asking, what does she look like? What did he look like? So he brought his spirit up from the ground. Then Samuel, wherefore then doest thou ask of me, seeing the Lord is departed from thee and is become thine enemy? And the Lord hath done to him as he spake by me, for the Lord hath rent the kingdom of thine hand and given it to thy neighbor, even to David. Because thou obeyest not the voice of the Lord. So if this is a demon, let's see wouldn't a demon go against what God's word is? Malik?
Yeah, it would.
So let's see what this quote unquote demon says. Because thou obeyest not the voice of the Lord, nor executest his fierce wrath upon Amalek, therefore hath the Lord done this thing unto thee this day. Moreover, the Lord will also deliver Israel with thee into the hand of the Philistines, and tomorrow shall you and your sons be with me. And the Lord shall deliver the host of Israel into the hand of the Philistines. Let's read that in the CEV to make it easier. Tomorrow the Lord will let the Philistines defeat Israel's army. Then you and your sons will join me down here in the world of the dead. So Samuel not only told him what you went against God's word, but he also prophesied unto Saul. It told him, not only did you go against God's word, but tomorrow Israel's army is going to lose to the Philistines, and you and your sons are going to be down here with me in the world of the dead. Now, do you subscribe to the Apocrypha?
I haven't read it, to be honest.
You haven't read it. It's all good. It's all good. If
But I
I'm
know
not,
First Corinthians talks about the spiritual body and the physical body. So to my understanding, the physical body, like when you're dead, you're like sleeping, but the spiritual body is like I'm not sure about the spiritual body.
But those are two different things, though. I got a class titled "Spiritual Bodies versus Disembodied Spirits." Do you know the difference between the two?
Um, I'm not sure. Is that in the radio tacos? ABT radio?
Yes. Yeah, you
Okay.
can look it up. Yeah, check out that class right there, because
Okay.
and in the class I explained this, that whenever we or anybody, whenever I start teaching people about disembodied spirits, people go to First Corinthians 15 and they start talking about spiritual bodies. Even if you listen to the name, they're two different things. A
I see.
disembodied spirit is a spirit that has no body. It's like a ghost. You can't touch it. It can
Yeah,
pass
I
through
know exactly what
walls
you're
and
talking
all of
about.
that stuff. Right. But a spiritual body is a physical body that can be touched,
They're
but it
different.
can't
Yeah.
die. It can't bleed. You follow what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, I see. I
And
know
we
exactly.
as humans, and we as humans have a spirit inside of us that can leave, and it would be a disembodied spirit.
I see.
And at the resurrection, we also get a spiritual body if you're righteous, in the first resurrection, all that other
Yeah.
good stuff. So check out that class right there. It's a little advanced, but I think you'll be able to keep up with it.
so here we're gonna go to the Apocrypha. What did the apostles say whenever they were in the water and they saw Jesus Christ walking on the water? What did they call him? Ghost. They called him a
Put some money
ghost.
on that.
So Malik, if they called him a
Hmm.
ghost, doesn't that mean that they already had inclinations on what a ghost was?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
they
I did
would.
that word in the Greek is phantom. So
Yeah.
if the apostles thought that Jesus was a ghost, that means that there was things about ghosts that they heard about already. So Ecclesiasticus 46:13. I'll just read it on here. Samuel, the prophet of the Lord, beloved of his Lord, established a kingdom and anointed princes over his people. By the law of the Lord, he judged the congregation, and the Lord had respect unto Jacob. By his faithfulness, he was found a true prophet, and by his word, he was known to be faithful in vision. He called upon the mighty Lord when his enemies pressed upon him on every side when he offered the sucking lamb. And the Lord thundered from heaven, and with a great noise made his voice to be heard. He destroyed the rulers of the Tyrenes and all the princes of the Philistines. But because of his long sleep, he made protestations in the sight of the Lord and his anointed. I have not taken any man's goods so much as a shoe, and no man did accuse him. So verse 20 is the more important one. And after his death, so after Samuel died, he prophesied and showed the king his end, that king being Saul, and lifted up his voice from the earth in prophecy to blot out the wickedness of the people. So how can a demon prophesy?
I know in First Chronicles it talks about how Saul died in his faith, and how he did not seek guidance from the Lord. But yeah, I don't
Let's see
see
that
a
the one with
demon.
You see,
Yeah.
he did get Samuel, but he didn't do it the right way. That's why Samuel condemned him. So
Yeah.
it's all about the way you do things, and that's why I was saying earlier, like, even though he did get
Don't do it.
Samuel's spirit to get prophecy, remember the lady, she said that Saul banned all of us and told us to stop practicing witchcraft, and he went against his own words so that he could get counsel from Samuel. So he sinned to do a quote unquote good thing. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So
Wait,
what is
wasn't
a
there an
familiar
instance where,
spirit? Daniela asked what a familiar spirit is, Brother Josh.
a familiar spirit. They translate that as familiar spirit in the King James, right? It's not really the most accurate translation. When it says somebody with a familiar spirit, the word familiar just means something like, familiar or something known. But if you really look at that in the Greek and in the Hebrew, it just means like somebody who's a medium or a psychic. No, it does not mean a demon that knows you. Where are you even getting that from in the chat? A demon that knows you? Where do you even get that from? Go into the Bible and show me book, chapter, and verse, or go to the Hebrew or to the Greek and show me where it says familiar spirit means a demon that knows you.
Yeah, I can't find anything that says that.
You can't just be making stuff up when you're teaching this word. The practice is demonic, yes, and these people can summon demons while trying to summon the spirits of the dead. That is true, but that's not what familiar spirit means. That's all I'm saying. That's not what that means. Oh, okay, they said that's what that meant. It's demonic. Yeah. Okay, I can get with you on that. Yes, it's a demonic practice,
So yes,
and
he did
then
bring
they
up.
can summon a demon. But that was Samuel because it tells you it was Samuel. It says it was Samuel.
It was
It
indeed
says it.
Samuel. You didn't even need to go to
Mm-hmm.
the Apocrypha to really see it. It tells you in the story. But it goes against a lot of people's doctrine, like soul sleep and
It does.
stuff like that. So that's why they'll say it's a demon.
Wasn't there an
Right.
instance too in the Gospels where it happened?
I can't hear you, Melly. You keep dropping back from your mic.
Oh, sorry. Wasn't in the
There
Gospels
you
where
go.
something happened too, where like the spirit of like Moses or like Elijah? Doesn't that
Moses and
happen?
Elijah, the Mount
Was
of
that them?
Transfiguration. Yes.
I
Does
think
it say
I
it was
think it
them?
was them. I mean, yeah, I literally said
Does
Moses
it
and
say?
Elijah.
Okay, then that's who it was.
Yeah,
I
that's how I read it. But then I don't know. Maybe I watched a YouTube
mean,
video or
I
something. I
mean, we
don't
gotta
know.
stop. We gotta stop reading stuff and just be like, well, it don't mean that. If the only reason why you would even question that is because you probably come from a background where they teach you soul sleep. So when somebody teach you a doctrine incorrectly, and then you come across something in the Bible that goes against that doctrine,
Yeah,
what you start doing is you start rationalizing what you just discovered away. And you start saying, oh, it don't mean that, or it can't mean that. Why can't it mean that though? Because of what you were
yeah.
incorrectly taught about that topic.
That's why I
Right?
stopped
It said
looking
then
into it.
appeared to him Moses and Elijah. That's what it says. Then appeared to him Moses and Elijah. It plainly says that. So if it says it was Moses and Elijah, then that's what I got to roll with until somebody can show me where it later says, turns out it wasn't really them. You follow what I'm saying?
And yeah, I see
So
what you're saying.
that right. So that was Moses and Elijah. Makes
Okay,
sense.
because like I stopped watching YouTube videos and all this stuff, and I just started reading it for myself, and I was like, I mean, it says Samuel. I mean, I
Y'all
don't
need
really.
to look at my old video I did like 12 years ago on YouTube titled Out of Body Experiences in the Bible.
Hmm.
Yes, y'all need to somebody post that in the chat if they find that, put that in the announcements. Y'all got to watch that. Out of body experience in the Bible. You know, the Bible talking about us still being alive and our soul goes outside of us. It can go to heaven, travel around the world, all that stuff that's in the Bible.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing now. But like, for example, like Acts chapter 2, verse 29, like David has not ascended into heaven. So like
The,
ascending into heaven's like being your
well,
body.
first of all, when Peter wrote that, nobody was going to heaven when they died anyway. You know,
Yeah.
when David died, nobody was going to heaven when they died anyway. Everybody went to Sheol. Second of
Yeah.
all, he didn't say that David never went to heaven. He was saying that when David wrote that psalm, because the context of that chapter is that whoever that psalm is talking about, they went to heaven. Not only did they go to heaven, they did not see corruption when they died. They did not decay. They were not dead long enough to decay. So Peter was saying David didn't go to heaven in his lifetime, and he died and his body decayed and all of that. So he was just letting them know whoever this psalm is talking about, they did not go to heaven in their lifetime, and because David did not go to heaven in his lifetime, did he? And when he died, he did not resurrect quickly before even having a chance to rot and go to heaven. So he was not making a declaration of David never going to heaven. He was making a declaration of the psalm that David wrote was talking about somebody who would die, not be dead long enough to see corruption, and then go to heaven. And Peter's point was, how could this be David? David didn't do any of that in his lifetime. So this must be a prophecy talking about Jesus. But people will take
Yeah.
that verse, read it out of context, and try to make people think that it was saying David never went to heaven. You follow what I'm saying? No, that's not what it is saying. He was
Yeah.
just letting you know when David wrote that psalm, he was not talking about himself because whoever that psalm was talking about is talking about somebody who died, was not dead long enough for their body to rot, and they ascended to heaven. And he was like, David didn't do that. David didn't go to heaven. And David dead, and his sepulcher is still with us to this day. So how can that be him? That was Peter's
Oh.
point. So he wasn't trying to say David never went to heaven. And even if he was saying that, he still would have been correct because if you understand death and the afterlife and how things were before Jesus died on the cross, even when David died, he still wouldn't have went to heaven anyway. And
Yeah.
a lot of people don't understand it. People don't understand that depending on what side of the crucifixion you died on, either before or after, determined where you would go when you die. And that's why a lot of people, it's a very deep topic. And a lot of
It's
people don't
deep.
know that. People don't know about Jesus freeing the saints from Sheol and taking them to heaven when he resurrected. People don't know about that stuff. People don't know that now, if you die, you go to be with Jesus. While as before that, your spirit went to Sheol. Everybody, good or evil, everybody went to the same spot, but that spot was divided into two sides. One side was for the righteous and one side was for the wicked. When Jesus died during that 3 day period, he went to that place, freed all the righteous, and took them to heaven when he resurrected. That's what Ephesians is talking about when it said when he ascended on high, he led captivity captive. You can read that in any translation, it'll tell you that he led the prisoners to heaven. Who were these prisoners that he led to heaven when he ascended on high? And then it says before he
Mm.
did that, he descended to the lower parts of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
What's the lower parts of the earth?
Underworld.
Shio.
What does it mean? What does it mean in the book of I think it's Philippians, one of those when it says every knee shall bow in things in heaven, in earth, and under the earth.
Under the earth. Yeah, I know. I
Shio.
remember that.
Who's
Dude,
under the earth that can bow to him?
Yeah. And then with
What does it
Jonah,
mean in Revelation 5? Right there in Revelation 5, when it says they were looking for somebody who was worthy to open the book. It said, no man in heaven, on earth, or under the earth was worthy to open up the book. Who are these people under the earth?
yeah, yeah.
Well, that's a whole nother lesson. You know,
That's a
that's
lot.
that's
Yeah.
that's that steak. That's that steak, GiDeon, that man you be talking about. That's that
I actually
steak.
do know what you're talking about though, because I've looked into it quite a
Mm-hmm.
bit. And
Yeah.
also the
You got to stay
references.
close up on your mic, though, Melly. You keep doing this. You got to
Oh,
stay up on
sorry,
your mic,
sorry.
man.
sorry, I'm
You
tired.
keep getting laid back. You keep laying back.
Yeah, sorry, I'm tired.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was looking into this when I was talking about like Jonah being in the belly of the whale, like, and then when Jesus refers to that, like, I was like, well, was Jonah dead? And like,
Jonah died. Jonah did not
yeah.
die. No, Jonah did not die. He was just
Well,
talking about the time frame. He said,
oh,
like Jonah was in the belly of the whale. That's what they had in common, the amount of time that they
but,
spent.
but
Now,
didn't it
here's a
say
question,
Jonah
though.
was somewhere
It
though?
says, oh, so what now?
Didn't it say Jonah?
You got
Wasn't
to
he?
stay up on your mic, Melly. You keep getting low.
Oh,
Stay on
my
your
bad.
mic.
Wasn't Jonah somewhere? Wasn't he somewhere though? Like when he was in there? Like
He was
something about a
inside the,
mountain?
no, he was
Oh.
inside the well. That's what it said. And then it said the well spewed him out on land. Remember? And he went to Nineveh. That's where he was. Right?
Oh. Because I'm reading it right
Right.
now.
But
I am reading a different version. It says that I sank down to the very roots of the mountains. No. I'll go up a little bit more. I sank beneath the waves, and the waters closed over me. Seaweed wrapped itself around my head. Okay, so it looks like he's in the whale right now. And then it says, I sank down to the
exactly.
very roots of the mountains. I was imprisoned in the earth, whose gates lock forever, who shut forever. But you, O Lord, snatched me from the jaws of death. Oh, okay. My life was slipping
Hold up.
away.
Snatch me from the jaws of death. What does it mean to snatch somebody from the jaws of death?
Take them away from death, kind of.
Snatching somebody from the jaws of death means preventing them from dying.
Yeah.
That's what it means to snatch somebody from the jaws of death. That means you came close to dying. It doesn't mean you came close, but it doesn't mean you died.
Yeah. And then did Enoch die? Or no?
No, he did not.
Yeah.
Neither did Elijah.
No. Yeah.
But that's another. You sound like
Yeah,
you,
that's it.
GiDeon, don't he?
I'm Alec. We can't
Me and
keep on
GiDeon,
getting
we said
sneaking
on
you
that.
in, man. You be safe, brother.
Okay. Okay. You be safe too.
Peace.
he,
Wise.
he got that shovel. He got that shovel out, don't he? Papaya. Wise papaya. He got that
Wise
shovel out, though,
papaya.
don't he, GiDeon?
Yes, sir.